Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Proxmox and how you can create a Cloud-init image which will allow you to basically create X number of VMs just very quickly. Right, so we'll walk through the process. Cloud-init is a process, and let's go through the quick documentation we have. This is the link. Here you can find the details. Idea is to create a template through which we can very quickly ramp up new VMs running Ubuntu, so then you can install Docker and practice other things quickly. All right, so let's get going with the demo. So I'm going to create a folder. Let's move into the folder. I will download this git clone. So let's go to the GitHub, and there is a media stack repository is there. You can go to Cloud-init image and you can see there are two files are there. So we're just going to download it and we're going to execute the steps under the PS1 file, which should help you create the image very quickly. All right, so let's do the git. Okay, so now if we do a TIR, you can see media stack is there. So let's go through that. We have these two files. Let's open them here. Now let's go to the code. So this is the code we just executed. So here is the site link. Now this is the place where you can download all the cloud related images, and if you click on this link you can download the Jammy version and then Kinetic, which is the one we are working on today, so you can download it. So let's go through it quickly. So here you have all the images, and you can click on Kinetic and go to the current branch and you can see all the files are there. We are interested in the files. Their links are here directly, so you can download it. So you create a folder. Now, first thing we do is we'll root into our Proxmox server. So let's do that. We are into Proxmox. As the first step, we'll be installing libguest tools. So let's run it. Give it a few minutes. So back now, it's almost took 2 minutes for the commands to run. Everything got installed. Now let's create a folder. We are right now at root, so we'll be creating a folder right there. You can change the location and the code should work similarly. You need to change the path if you do that. Other than that, you should be good. So we create a folder, cd into it. First thing, we'll be creating an image. This is a rerunnable template, so you can run it again. This will fail because there is nothing to do here. And we can see the error message. Oh, there was an old template was there, so we just destroyed it. Now, first thing we'll do is we'll do a wget to download the file here. Right now, we just created the folder. Folder is empty, so first command will be downloading this file. While the file is downloading, let's talk about some of the other stuff we will be doing. So we'll be creating a VM. ID is 9601. We are giving it a name, Ubuntu Cloud 21. You can call it any version you want. Then giving it standard 4 gig memory, 2 CPUs, and associated with the default network. After that, we'll be importing the file we just downloaded into this. We are providing the path, root, Cloud-init, Kinetic server. Once the file is imported, we'll be doing setting up this SCSI drive on it, and then a Cloud-init drive. Cloud-init drive is the one which has the configuration, which will help it change every time we create a new VM. We can change some of the variables, and I'll show you in a bit. Wow. Now, next step, and very crucial step, is that we are adding around 20 gig of space to every in the template so that every VM get created has at least around 24 gig of space. And that's important. If you don't do that, then you may be out of space if you're trying to download some Docker images and all that, and you'll be having a weird error message, which is pretty hard to troubleshoot. So this will save you from that. And then we are attaching it to some basic configuration, enabling the agent. It doesn't work even though it's there, so we'll take a look. Now, when it comes to login and password, this is what we are passing it to the template. There is technically no need to pass it here because you'll be passing this variable when you're creating the VMs from this template. Then we'll be doing ipconfig, and this is a template, so we are using DHCP. If this is a real VM and we wanted to assign a static IP, you could have used something like that. So let's run the rest of the steps. Let's import the file. Oh, we did not create the VM, so let's create the VM first. Now let's import file. I'm going to execute the rest of the commands in a quick succession. We already went through it. And once these commands are executed, we'll call it a template. And that way, Proxmox knows that this is a template. Now, at this point, if you go to the Proxmox, fire, you can see that our Ubuntu Cloud image is there. You can see the hardware default 4 gig, 2 processors, Cloud-init, our login password, the one we put in the system. It's already there. It's using DHCP. So basically, template is ready. Now we can create the VMs out of it, and we can see that there is a test VM I already created. So we're gonna delete it and recreate it again. So template is done. Now you can also run a query to verify the template data looks good. And you can see here the template names, login, password, some other basic details of the package. So now we'll do an exit and we'll do another important step. So exit has to be small case. So we came out back to the Windows client. Now we want to configure these files onto this Proxmox server. So let's go take a look at the file. You can see the file shows the host name. It shows the localhost, superadmin, password, and particularly this authorized key is there. This is something you need to change. You need to get your authorized key on the RSA file, rsa.pub file, and change it here. Once you're done, we are telling which packages to be installed, what other location, locale and time zone should be changed as it suits you. I'm also suggesting that, okay, allow etc host allow file to add the IP address of the client machine we'll be connecting from. In this case, we'll be connecting basically from the Proxmox server directly. So it doesn't matter much, but yeah. And then SSH configuration, we already talked about it, and that's it. So once it's done, the cloud image will pre-populate Ubuntu image and install all these things. And once it's done, we'll be able to bring up the whole instance. So let's move this file. But before I move the file, I'm gonna change the SSH key, which will be different. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I changed the key. Now we'll be running this command. And you can see the user config YAML file is copied to temp in our Proxmox server. Let's validate it. You can see our configuration values are here. Now let's continue. Let's log back in to the system. We are back onto the Proxmox. We'll be dropping the VMs because this is the VM we're gonna be creating. As I said, you can read on this script and it just works. The VM is gone. So now we'll be creating it. So I'm going to clone 9601. That's our template to ID called 771. And we're going to even name VM Media Stack. Okay, so it's creating and making a full copy of it. Now, regarding the files we copied, this file we just copied to the server, we're gonna change some variables. Wherever the test server name, which is our host name, will change with our desired host name. And then superadmin is the username in the template. We will be changing it, say, hvadmin. So let's run these two commands, and then we can run and confirm that, yeah, the configuration is working. And you can basically see password test, hvadmin, and the host name is vMediaStack. So that's key thing. Now let's go through it. We attach this Cloud-init file to the VM. So the file is attached. Now let's you can attach the SSH key here, but I have not found it working when it comes to this image. So there is some problem here, and that's why adding it or not adding it doesn't make sense. So we're gonna comment it. We don't need it. It's anyway gonna pick up the SSH key from the user config file. Now, since this is a VM and I know what the IP should be, I'll be making it a 232 IP. You can make it DHCP and it will acquire the IP automatically. Now once we are done, let's start it up. So once it starts, the VM will wait for activity to finish. Once it's finished, VM shuts down, and then VM wait command will quit. And after that, we'll just restart the VM, and that way we'll be able to access the VM. So I'm going to pause for a bit. At the console, we can see some activities going on. Even though it's showing up as login, there is still work going on. And if we go back to the command, we can see that our VM is not yet stopped. We'll come back once it's stopped. Okay, now you can see the VM is already stopped, and you can see stop command completed. So we can run next command, start it up. Now we go here, will start up automatically. So we'll wait for it to boot up. So we can see system did boot up just fine. So let's connect to the system. So our key is failed. So let's run the command because there is a duplicate value. Removed it. Let's connect now. Press yes. And there you go. We are in the VM. Type it, you can see vMediaStack, and you can do whatever you need to do once you're done. If you don't need it, you can just go ahead, run the command, destroy it, and create a new VM as you need, or create more new VMs as necessary for the work. Now we'll be using this vMediaStack for the future videos where I will walk you through what are the different things you can do here. We'll take a couple of Docker, and I'll introduce you to a project called Homepage. And this is something I just love it. This makes my workflow very easy. You can see all the links are there. So I'll introduce you to this technology, and I think this is one of the best dashboard available right now. So thank you for watching the video, and click like and subscribe. Thank you very much.